Welcome to National Eyes. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In the heart of Central America, an ancient dream is being revived. Nicaragua, under the leadership of President Daniel Ortega, is once again pushing to carve a new canal between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This time, the ambitious project has the powerful backing of China, signaling a dramatic shift in global alliances and ambitions. The vision is bold, to create a waterway that could rival the legendary Panama Canal, forever altering the landscape of international trade and geopolitics. This isn't just another infrastructure project, it's a high-stakes gamble that could reshape global trade routes and the balance of power. The stakes are enormous, with billions of dollars and the future of global shipping hanging in the balance. If successful, the canal could open up new opportunities for commerce and transform Nicaragua into a key player on the world stage. The world's attention sharpened in late 2024, as Ortega unveiled his sweeping vision amid a growing crisis. The Panama Canal, crippled by severe drought, was choking global commerce. Ships waited for weeks, and supply chains faltered, highlighting the urgent need for an alternative route. Suddenly, Nicaragua's canal dream seemed not just ambitious, but necessary. By early 2025, after years of debate and negotiation, Nicaragua had cleared major legal and political hurdles, setting the stage for what could become the largest engineering project of the century. Bulldozers began to clear land, and blueprints turned into action, as the world watched with anticipation and skepticism. For Nicaragua, the canal represents a potential economic lifeline, promising jobs, investment, and a chance to lift millions out of poverty. For China, it's a strategic move in its Belt and Road Initiative, challenging a century of U.S. dominance in the region and expanding its influence in the Americas. The project has become a symbol of shifting power dynamics in the 21st century. The agreements are signed, the route mapped, but questions loom large over financing, environmental impact, and the true motives behind the project. Environmentalists warn of irreversible damage to Nicaragua's rich biodiversity, while skeptics question whether the promised benefits will ever materialize for ordinary citizens. Will this canal become a beacon of progress and prosperity, or a cautionary tale of ambition gone awry? As the first shovels break ground and the world holds its breath, one thing is certain: the story of Nicaragua's canal is just beginning, and its outcome could echo for generations to come. The idea of a Nicaraguan canal is centuries old, stretching back to the earliest days of European exploration in the Americas. For generations, visionaries, engineers, and politicians have gazed at Nicaragua's geography and imagined a waterway that could rival the Panama Canal, forever altering global trade. Yet, this recurring dream has always ended in disappointment, leaving behind only abandoned sites and faded ambitions. Each failed attempt has left scars on the landscape and in the national psyche, a constant reminder of what could have been. In the 19th century, the United States seriously considered Nicaragua as the site for a transoceanic canal. Ultimately, they chose Panama, a decision that left Nicaraguans with a lingering sense of lost potential and missed opportunity. The shadow of that choice has loomed over every subsequent proposal. The most recent and ambitious attempt, the HKND project in 2013, promised a new era of prosperity. Backed by Chinese billionaire Wang Jing, it captured the world's attention, but the dream quickly unraveled after Wang's fortune evaporated, leaving the project in ruins. The plan would have cut through Lake Cochibolca, Nicaragua's largest freshwater lake, sparking global outrage over the potential environmental devastation and the human cost. Thousands of indigenous people and rural communities faced displacement, igniting fierce resistance both locally and internationally. Years of protests, legal battles, and a landmark human rights ruling followed. In 2024, after a decade of uncertainty, Nicaragua finally revoked the HKND concession, closing a painful chapter in the nation's history. But this was no surrender. Ortega's government took hard lessons from the debacle, recognizing the dangers of environmental backlash, the importance of public opinion, and the risks of relying on unreliable private partners. When the canal plan returned, it came with a new route, more careful planning, and crucially, the direct involvement of the Chinese state, bringing both new hope and new controversy. The failures of the past have set the stage for a far more formidable project, one that seeks to learn from history rather than repeat it. The ghost of the canal now haunts the present, not just the past. reminding Nicaragua and the world that history's lessons are never easily forgotten. The new canal proposal is radically different, charting a longer, 445-kilometer route that avoids Lake Cocibolca and instead passes through the smaller, polluted Lake Solotlan. This move sidesteps the fiercest environmental criticism, but introduces new engineering and ecological challenges. The canal is designed for the world's largest ships, requiring massive excavation and an estimated $50–80 billion, far beyond Nicaragua's economy. The U.S. views the project as a geopolitical threat, not just a commercial venture, while Panama fears for its shipping monopoly. China's state-owned CAMC has signed on to build the first port, but full financing and environmental assessments remain undisclosed. The lack of transparency fuels global suspicion. Is this a fully funded megaproject or a phased gamble to build momentum? The world is being asked to trust a blueprint that's still incomplete. The stakes are enormous, and the risks are just as great. Nicaragua is betting its future on a canal that could change everything, or nothing. For China, the Nicaragua Canal is a strategic masterstroke, fitting perfectly into its Belt and Road initiative. It's not just about trade, it's about projecting power and securing supply chains in America's backyard. Nicaragua's switch from Taiwan to Beijing in 20,000 opened the door for deep Chinese investment as Ortega's regime seeks a powerful ally unconcerned with human rights. A new canal would give China leverage over global shipping, reducing its dependence on the US-influenced Panama Canal. China's ambitions extend beyond Nicaragua, with similar projects in neighboring countries, signaling a coordinated push to reshape Central American infrastructure. The canal is the flagship of China's regional strategy, a bold move in the global contest for influence. This is not just business, it's a new era of great power rivalry. In Washington, the Nicaragua Canal is seen as a direct challenge to US influence, a new front in the great power rivalry with China. This ambitious project, backed by Chinese investment, is not just an economic venture but a strategic maneuver that could alter the balance of power in the region. The U.S. has long considered Central America its sphere of influence, with the Panama Canal as its crown jewel. For over a century, this vital waterway has been a symbol of American engineering prowess and strategic dominance. Now a Chinese-backed rival canal raises alarms about security, dual-use infrastructure, and the potential for Chinese naval presence near U.S. shores. The implications of such a development are profound, potentially reshaping maritime routes and military strategies. Sanctions and strained relations with Ortega's regime leave the U.S. with little leverage, complicating its response. The diplomatic landscape is fraught with tension, as both nations vie for influence in a region historically dominated by the U.S. The project is a propaganda coup for China, contrasting its builder image with America's reliance on sanctions. This narrative plays well in developing countries, where infrastructure development is often seen as a path to progress and prosperity. For the U.S., countering this narrative and reasserting influence is a top foreign policy challenge. American diplomats and strategists are working tirelessly to craft a response that balances hard power with soft diplomacy. The canal is more than concrete and water, it's a symbol of shifting global power. It represents the broader geopolitical struggle between two superpowers, each vying for dominance in a rapidly changing world. The risk of miscalculation is real, and the stakes are high. Any misstep could escalate tensions, leading to a broader conflict with far-reaching consequences. This is a new kind of Cold War, fought with infrastructure, not arms. The tools of influence have evolved, but the underlying struggle for supremacy remains the same. The outcome will shape the region and the world for decades. The decisions made today will reverberate through history, influencing global trade, security, and diplomacy. The global order is in flux, and the canal is at its center. As nations navigate this new reality, the Nicaragua Canal stands as a testament to the enduring power of strategic infrastructure. The Panama Canal, once the world's shipping king, is now crippled by drought, forcing drastic restrictions and delays. In 2024, vessel traffic dropped nearly 30%, sending shockwaves through global supply chains and exposing the canal's vulnerability. Nicaragua and China seized the moment, pitching their canal as a modern, reliable alternative. Deeper, larger, and less dependent on fragile freshwater lakes. Global shipping companies, desperate for certainty, are listening. Panama is scrambling for costly, long-term fixes. But the immediate crisis has opened the door for its northern rival. The competition is no longer hypothetical, it's real, and the stakes are enormous. Climate change has turned Nicaragua's century-old dream into a viable business case. The true cost of the canal will be paid by Nicaragua's land and people. The new route avoids Lake Coatzacoalcos but still threatens sensitive ecosystems, requiring massive dredging and risking toxic pollution from Lake Solotlan. Environmental scientists warn of unpredictable, potentially devastating consequences for both nature and communities. Thousands may be displaced, with little assurance of fair compensation or a voice in the process. For some, the canal is hope. For others, it's a threat to their way of life. The project pits economic dreams against environmental and social realities. As construction looms, tensions are set to rise in an already polarized nation. The canal may divide not just the land, but the people themselves. Strip away the politics, and experts remain deeply divided. Economists question the canal's financial viability, doubting it can compete with Panama without massive Chinese subsidies. Some logistics analysts argue that Panama's crisis has created real demand for a reliable alternative, even at a higher cost. Environmental scientists are nearly unanimous in their alarm, warning of ecological disaster if toxic sediments are disturbed and habitats destroyed. Calls for independent, transparent environmental studies have gone unanswered. Political analysts see the canal as a strategic asset for China, even if it loses money, securing influence and forcing the U.S. to refocus on its own hemisphere. The project's risks are monumental, but so are the potential rewards. The canal is a test of ambition, power, and the limits of engineering. Its fate will be decided not just by economics, but by geopolitics and the environment. The world is watching, and the outcome is far from certain. The Nicaragua Canal is more than a regional project, it's a crucible for the forces shaping our world trade, power, climate, and the clash between development and preservation. Its audacity is breathtaking, but so are the risks of hubris and unintended consequences. Will the financing materialize, or will this dream dissolve like those before it? If built, will it bring prosperity or leave a legacy of ruin? The answers will be forged in Central America's mud, in global boardrooms, and in the halls of power. The world has a stake in the outcome. The canal's fate will help define the new global order. The dream is alive, but its future, and its cost, remain perilously uncertain.